In this video, we are going to talk about what to do and not to do at a wine tasting. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. A wine tasting is an event in which a group of people gather together to sample and assess a variety of different wines in blind tastings. This is the precise definition of a wine tasting. Many people, despite the fact that this may be a truly enjoyable experience for them, are perplexed when they arrive at a tasting event about the activities in which they are required to participate and those in which they are not expected to participate. It doesn't matter whether you've tried your hand at wine tasting before or if it's something you've never done before. Going to vineyards and tasting rooms is a great way to sample a variety of wines and figure out which ones you enjoy the most. If this will be your first time visiting a vineyard, you most likely have questions regarding how to conduct yourself in a mature and responsible manner when tasting wines in a public setting such as a tasting room. What is the right way to hold a wine glass? What is an appropriate quantity of alcohol to consume? Which is better, spitting or swallowing? Should you leave a tip for the waiter? Continue to learn what to do and what not to do during a wine tasting to make the most of your experience. Number 10. Avoid putting on a scent of perfume. When tasting wine, the aromas play a significant role in the overall experience. However, wearing a potent perfume or cologne is one of the quickest ways to detract from that aspect of the tasting for both you and the other people in the room. This is because strong scents compete with the aromas of the wine. It's likely that various scents may leave you with very different perceptions of the tastes in the wines. If you are going to a winery or tasting room, it is very encouraged that you do not wear any form of perfume or cologne at all. In fact, it is required that you refrain from doing so. Number 9. Do approach the situation with an open mind. Even though it's never a bad thing to have a good idea of what you enjoy and don't enjoy in the first place, wine tasting is the ideal opportunity to try something completely new or revisit a taste that you previously found unappealing. This is because wine tasting is the ideal opportunity to try something completely new or revisit a taste that you previously found unappealing. After all, you are just sampling, and there is no need that you buy a whole bottle of every beverage that you test out in this process. When you go to a wine tasting, go in with an open mind and try a lot of different wines since you can't predict which one will blow your socks off. Number 8. Do purge your mouth and your taste buds. If water is available, it is a good idea to take a sip and even swill your glass between each pour to cleanse your palate of the preceding wine. If water is not available, it is not necessary to take a drink or swill your glass between pours. It is not required to take a drink from your glass or swill it around if there is no water available. In addition to that, there could be crackers or any other light snack of your choice. Keep in mind, however, that they are not designed to take the place of a meal. Rather, their purpose is to assist you in regaining a clean taste in your mouth after you have eaten. Number 7. Do spit or dump. People who have never taken part in a wine tasting before may be taken aback to hear that the use of spittoons is not only permitted, but rather encouraged throughout the course of the event. It is a good idea to control how much wine you consume by spitting out or pouring out some of the wine that you drink. This is especially important on days when you visit multiple wineries or tasting rooms in a single day. Spitting out or pouring out some of the wine that you drink is a smart way to control how much wine you consume. Number 6. Avoid gripping the bowl of your glass when holding it. When you are taking part in a tasting, you should always hold your glass by the stem. If you hold it by the bowl, not only will you leave fingerprints on the glass, which will block your view of the wines, but you will also affect the temperature of the wine, which will make it more difficult for you to taste it. If you hold it by the stem, however, you will not leave fingerprints on the glass, but you will block your view of the wines. Increasing the likelihood of the glass shattering is doing so while holding it by the bowl. Holding your glass by the stem is considered to be one of the most crucial components of perfect etiquette while tasting wine, despite the fact that doing so may seem to be against common sense. Number 5. Ask questions. If you have a question about a particular wine, don't be afraid to ask the person who is pouring it for you or the person who is hosting the event. You are more than free to ask any questions that come to mind about the background of a certain wine that you are now assessing or the procedure that was used in its manufacture. When it comes to trying different wines, there is not a single question that is in any way incorrect or irrelevant to ask. In point of fact, raising questions indicates that you are involved in the activity, and it also improves the overall quality of the tasting experience that you have. Number 4. Avoid presenting yourself as an expert if you do not actually are one. You should never be afraid to voice your opinion and share your ideas on the wines with the group. Nevertheless, you should make an effort to avoid seeming like a wine snob or an industry expert, unless of course you really are one of those things. At a wine tasting, the best part about sharing your thoughts is that there are no wrong answers, and the wine that someone else considers to be the epitome of excellence may not even come close to matching your standards at all. Therefore, enjoy the wine and have lively conversations about it, but try not to be the kind of person who takes things far more seriously than they should. Number 3. Do not hesitate to leave a gratuity for the pourer. Because most wineries require a sampling fee, you may enjoy your beverage of choice without feeling guilty about not leaving a gratuity. If you purchase a particular amount of bottles of wine, many establishments will forego the cost entirely. Even though they are not often asked, gratuities are always appreciated at the great majority of wineries and tasting rooms. This is despite the fact that gratuities are not generally required. It is common practice to tip the person who is pouring your wine, particularly if you have had a positive experience, have sampled a greater number of wines than you had anticipated, or are with a large group of people. This is especially true in situations in which you have had a pleasant experience. Number 2. Show off your knowledge of proper wine tasting etiquette while taking in the beautiful views. When you book a helicopter trip with Tour Divine, you will not only have the opportunity to sample world-class wines, but you will also have an adventure that will live long in the memory. If you let us take you from one tasting room to the next in luxury and elegance, you won't need a sober driver and can escape the hassle of finding one. You and the other members of your company will enjoy a scenic flight over the gorgeous rolling hills of Oregon wine country, make stops at some of the most breathtaking vineyards in the country, and taste some of the region's wines that are considered to be among the best in the world. Number 1. Avoid having too much to drink too quickly. Having a good time at a wine tasting, which may include having a few drinks and generally letting loose, is not only not frowned upon but actively encouraged. However, it is quite easy to drink more than you intended to, and inebriated tasters are notoriously difficult to deal with. This is especially true if you are new to the experience. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.